My name is Billy Hoffman, and I am a person in long-term gambling recovery, and what that means for me is I have not placed a bet since February 5th, 2001, over 24 years. Growing up, I grew up, poor. My mother was a single mom of 3 in the 70s, not a lot of child support. And I tell you this because that's part of how I developed this idea in my head that money would solve problems, seeing what we had to do to get by and all that. And I also had, friends that had 2-parent families. They were doing fine, and I could see there was a difference. Prior to the gambling was, I was really into games, any kind of game. I wanted to play games all the time, right? It was my escape. There was that, and also performing, whether it was singing or acting, any of that stuff. And part of that really was I learned as a little kid that if I did some of that stuff, the adults maybe were nicer to me at times, because of it. In my family and extended family, there was gambling going on that I witnessed growing up. And even took part in, there was a normalization, you could say, of gambling. So it didn't seem like it was that big a deal. And on top of that, I loved to play games. So I was kind of primed as a young boy to be a gambler. And I say that not blaming any of them. When my addiction took hold, which that started in my teens, that was on me. At some point I had to either stop or continue going, and I was addicted to it. So I wanted to continue going. The gambling on a regular basis started around 15. By 18, I'm full-time, and by 30, married and divorced twice, 2 United States bankruptcies, a repossession. That's kind of my laundry list of the really bad stuff that happened. If I had money, I was going to gamble it. And as the addiction progressed, I would find ways to get money. I know for a fact everything that I ever made from the time I was 15 until I was 30 absolutely went to gambling. So back rooms for cards, for video games, video poker, lottery on a regular basis. Because I was in Virginia, I had to travel long distances to gamble. Places like Charlestown, West Virginia, Dover. I was going up to Atlantic City quite a bit. I ended up becoming a gambling counselor, so I could tell you there are a couple of terms they use for gamblers, and one is escape gambler and one's action gambler. And I had games in both areas. And emotionally, I was a wreck, a complete wreck. I was very sneaky. I used my personality to get away with things. But ultimately, especially the people that are closest to you, the money doesn't lie. I mean, at some point, you can't lose your wallet every day, right? The insurance company or the tax man or whoever can't screw up the paperwork every time, right? There was something going on, and that was me being manipulative, dishonest, and that went on for years and years and years and years. I was completely exhausted and did not know what to do. I really thought I would be a gambler for the rest of my life. It was the end of the relationship, the second marriage, really that started everything in motion. And I haven't seen her since. When she decided to leave, she left. But I continued to gamble for about a year when that happened. That led to I get in another relationship, and I blow all the money, and now I don't have money for rent and all of these things. She doesn't know that I gamble. And because I had so many things that I'd never dealt with throughout my entire life, something happened inside of me. That's when I called a hotline. And they set me up with a couple of guys that were in GA. And then the recovery happened. And I could tell you what happened on February 5th, 2001 was a miracle.